Hey friends, Jason Smylski with Smylski Realty and the Calgary Homeboys. Today I'm putting together a fantastic little video for all you first-time homeowners out there. So I'm going to be running through some commonly asked questions such as, how do I come up with a down payment? How do I save for a down payment? What costs are associated in buying a home? And how does the whole process work? So stick around. This subject is near and dear to my heart because I love working with first-time homeowners, so you don't want to miss this. So you're thinking about buying your first home? Well, you've come to the right place. We're gonna go over some of the commonly asked questions about how much do I need for my down payment, what does the process look like, what are the costs associated, and how to save for a home. So you're probably at that stage where you've done your traveling, you've got your big boy job now, you're either living with your parents or you have a roommate, and now you want a home. So you're starting to look on the MLS, you're asking your friends of where they bought their house. And one of the first and most important questions is finding out what your budget will be and actually how to save for your home. So there's some of you out there are pretty diligent. You can put your head down and start saving, and my hat is off to you because it takes me a little longer to save. But once you get a good formula down and once you're in a groove, it works out pretty good, I find. What I've usually tried to do is set a budget. So if you need a number in mind, say if you need $15,000 in mind, you know, I would sit down and go over my finances, go over my credit card bills, and go over my daily and weekly spending and try to figure out where I can cut money. So you might have to move back in with mom and dad. You might have to get another roommate for a little while, or if it's you and one of your partners, you're just gonna have to hunker down and make some sacrifices. So that's how I would physically start saving. Another great way to save for a down payment is to draw from your RSPs. So if you've been paying into your RSPs for a few years, you can pull some of that out tax-free up until a certain amount of time, and then you can use that for a down payment as well too. Another option is also having a family member gift you some money, because it's tough and maybe mom and dad or grandma and grandpa have got a little chunk of money that they wanted to float your way, and that's a great way to get started as well. So to recap, saving money is not easy, but if you make a budget, if you really outline where you need to save, where you can cut corners, where you can also bring down your debt, so pay off that credit card, because the stronger your application looks, the better interest rate that you're gonna get, and maybe the more money that you're gonna get. So moving on to how much will I need? So 5% down is the standard down payment for a house. So if you're looking at a $300,000 home, which is a pretty good little condo or just entryway into maybe a townhouse and attached home, $300,000 is the number that we're going to use for today. So you're gonna need $15,000. So $15,000 is a hefty little number, but it gets you in the game and it gets you going after your house. So what are my costs associated with buying a home? Well, when you're working with a trusted realtor like me, as a buyer, you do not have to pay out of pocket for me to help you find your amazing home. Outside of that, your mortgage broker does not charge you either for assisting you and setting you up on a mortgage. Some of the things that you will have to put a little bit of money aside for is closing costs. So closing costs in buying a home around that $300,000 mark is about $1,200 to $1,500 for your lawyer to transfer title and to administer the exchange of funds. Outside of that, you're either going to need to put a few $100s away for a condo document review. If you're buying a condo, what we recommend doing is paying a company to review the condo documents and go over basically the comings and goings of the condo board and the property management company that you are supposedly buying into. So that's usually about $250, $300. If you're buying a detached home and you want to do a home inspection should cost you between about $350 and $500. So we've gone over how to save, how much you're gonna need for your down payment, and what costs are associated with buying a home. The next step is actually how does the whole process work? So the first most important thing that I really recommend to all my clients is for you to go get pre-approved. Really sit down with your mortgage broker and see what type of a number you come up with. First and foremost, sit down with yourself and get that number, get that budget, and figure out how you like to live. Do you like to take a lot of trips? Do you like to eat out a lot? Do you like to go out and party? Figure out a good number and a good budget that you feel comfortable every single month paying into for your mortgage, because like I'd mentioned, you're gonna have property taxes, you're gonna have your mortgage payment, you're gonna have all your utilities, you know what I mean? So the bulk of that's gonna go into your monthly payments. So outside of that, I want you to feel comfortable and not feel too stretched. Essentially, that's why the government has imposed, or the CMHC has imposed, these new stress tests for lending and for mortgage rules, so that we're not overextending. I think a lot of our interest rates right now are going up, so it's going to be a little tighter for us on a monthly basis. So first and foremost, don't be house poor. Try to find a good number and a good budget and outline that with your mortgage broker. Then come see me, and then we'll start doing a little bit of house shopping. Once you figure out where your budgets are, where your monthly payments are, we can do that house shopping. So I'd like you to define your lifestyle, where you want to live, where you work, where your family's at. Those are usually the most important things for establishing what part of town you want to live in and what type of property that you are seeking. So once we get a little bit of that parameter going, I'll do some searching online. I'll set you up on a cool little search, and then we get to do some house shopping. So when we're doing house shopping, it doesn't matter if we look at 5 properties and find the right one, or if we look at, I think my most is 52 properties. So it's an adventure, it's fun. It's fun to go out and start comparing properties to one another. And it's a cool process to kind of see how you feel when you walk into a property and see the amenities in there. So that's a really fun part that I love to do with people, is going out house shopping. So who doesn't like shopping, right? So at that point, we've narrowed down, we've got a couple properties shortlisted for you, and we're excited, and then we say, yes, this is the house. So then what happens? Well, I'll sit you down with our purchase contract, and it'll go over and outline some of the stipulations when it comes to conditions and terms of submitting an offer. We're gonna usually find comparable properties in the neighborhood to try to come up with a really good number for you, to try to get the best number. At that point, we put in an offer, we submit a number, and then we sit back and then we wait. So sometimes this process can take a matter of hours, sometimes it takes a day or two. So I usually recommend we're close to the phone, we're texting each other, it can go back and forth. They might be able to counter offer, and then we also come back with another counter offer. And at that point, we usually whittle it down to a number that we both feel comfortable with. And I might be behind you massaging your shoulders, get rid of some of that stress. But you know what? The payoff is you're gonna get an amazing home at an amazing price. So at that point, once the offer is accepted, there's a few other steps that are involved. Basically, we put a condition in for financing, and we put usually a condition in for document review, condo document review, and home inspection. So at those points, you can get your pre-approval to the next stage where you're actually stamped and approved, and you can go and get your home inspection done. And each one of those times is like your next step closer to buying a home. So it just gives you the opportunity to do your due diligence, research the home, make sure there's no surprises there, and also make sure that 100% you got your finances in order. So then it's closing day, then it's possession day. On that day, the lawyers will transfer the funds, transfer the title, and then I'll get that phone call usually around noon, go pick up the keys, meet you at your new place, and then we'll do a little bit of a happy dance. We'll give a little hug and a high five and pass you off to your new home. So hopefully you've been able to understand how that whole process works. It's a pretty proud moment when I get to give you a quick high five or a hug and exchange those keys. So that's one of my most favorite things about my job, is being able to knock it out of the park, get you a good price, answer your questions, be there for you as a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to cry on, and really give you amazing service. So that's essentially why I got into real estate, is to take some of what I'm good at and help others out there. So if you have any other questions for me, feel free to drop me a line, give me an email, give me a like, and I look forward to helping out you or your family or whoever in buying your first home.